Welcome to our tutorial on integrating TailwindCSS Forms plugin with Next.js form handling. We begin by importing the base TailwindCSS stylesheet to make sure we have access to all utility classes. Additionally, we import the useForm hook from React Hook Form, a library that simplifies form validation and handling in React applications. Using the useForm hook, we destructure the register, handle submit, and errors functions. Register allows us to register inputs into the React Hook form system. Handle submit is a function that will handle form submission, taking care of all the validation provided by React Hook form before calling the method we specify. Errors will contain any validation errors that occur during form submission. Next, we define the onSubmit function, which will be executed when the form is successfully submitted without errors. This function is asynchronous because it involves sending form data to a server-side API endpoint using the fetch API. Inside the onSubmit function, we send a post request to the API contact endpoint. The fetch call includes headers that tell the server we're sending JSON data, and the body of the request is the stringified form data. After receiving the response from our API, we check if the response OK is true, indicating that the HTTP request was successful and the server sent back a 200-level status code. If so, we handle success according to our application's needs. Otherwise, we handle any errors that may have occurred during the operation. In the return statement, we set up the form component. We bind the handle submit function from React Hook Form to the form's onSubmit event. This allows React Hook Form to take over and run our validation rules before executing the onSubmit function. The class namespace Y6 applies vertical spacing between elements using TailwindCSS's spacing utilities. We create a label for our input field using TailwindCSS classes to style it. Block makes the label block level, text SM and font medium control the text size and weight, while text gray 700 sets the label's color. For the input field, we again use Tailwind classes for styling. The ref attribute is passed the register function with validation rules, in this case, marking the field as required. This is how React Hook Form knows to include this input in the form validation process. If there are any errors for the name field, such as not filling out a required field, we display an error message. Here, the message is styled using Tailwind's text red 500 class to make it stand out with a red color. Finally, the submit button is styled with various Tailwind classes to create a consistent and attractive design that matches the rest of the form. The type attribute is set to submit, which triggers form submission when clicked. Moving on to the Next.js API route, we import the Next API request and Next API response types from Next for type validation. The exported asynchronous function will handle the incoming API requests. Within the function, we first check the HTTP method of the request. If it is not a POST request, we set appropriate headers and return a 405 method not allowed status code with an error message. For POST requests, we destructure the name, email, and message from the request body. We then perform server-side validation to ensure all fields are present. If any are missing, we respond with a 400 bad request status code and a relevant error message. When all fields are present, we proceed to handle the form submission within a try-catch block. This could involve saving the data to a database or sending an email. Upon successful handling, we respond with a 200 OK status code with a success message. If an error occurs during the process, we catch it and return a 500 internal server error status code with an error message.